Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing.
Breaking developments just now. This morning's silence was shattered by the firing of at least 45 rockets and mortars from the Gaza Strip into Israeli territory. At this time, we haven't learned of any injuries, but at least 3 of the rockets struck Israeli communities near the border, while most of the others either detonated in open fields or else were destroyed by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. As always, Israel holds Hamas 100% accountable for security threats inside the Strip. The I.D.F. has just delivered a massive counterattack in response to this affront, targeting some 25 Hamas sites within Gaza. This turmoil is a troubling spike during an already tense time between Israel and Gaza. This morning's rocket attacks come mere days after an I.D.F. counterstrike in response to flaming kites and balloons from Gaza. Top army brass is reportedly against using lethal force against Gazans flying these deadly kites for fears that the body count might push the region to war. But given this morning's event, many believe that path is all but inevitable. A district court in Israel has set a major legal precedent in the trial of 2 teenagers accused of killing a Palestinian family in their home. In the trial surrounding this incident, which took place in the West Bank town of DUMA, it soon emerged that Shin Bet interrogators allegedly tortured the 2 teen suspects to elicit their confessions to the deadly firebombing. In a groundbreaking ruling, confessions made under duress will now no longer be admissible as evidence in trial. This crime was one of the most gruesome committed in recent years against Palestinian civilians. The prime suspect, Amiram Ben Uliel, was arrested and charged with carrying out a deadly firebombing that killed 3 members of the Dawabsha family. This included a young infant toddler, as well as both of the child's parents. Another suspect was arrested along with Ben Uliel, suspected of being an accomplice. Both suspects eventually confessed to the crime during interrogations with the Shin Bet, but later they claimed that they only offered their confession because they were tortured by investigators. The issue of torture, or ticking time bomb scenarios as they're called, is still very much a source of debate in Israel. This ruling, which throws out confessions made under torture, is a groundbreaking precedent in this matter. Significantly, however, the courts will still allow the confession made by the prime suspect Ben Uliel, because he apparently admitted to his crimes long after he was submitted to torture. The prosecution will likely have to throw out its case against Ben Uliel's accomplice, though, now that his words are no longer admissible as evidence. This will also likely complicate their case against Ben Uliel as well. At this time, Ben Uliel has also confessed to being involved in at least 6 other hate crimes against Palestinians in the West Bank. These confessions will also be heard in court. An I.D.F. Skylark drone has just been reported as crashed in southern Syria. And though the situation in Syria is intensifying more and more by the day, the Israeli government claims that this isn't as bad as it sounds. Locals began tweeting images of the downed Skylark just hours after this Israeli drone crashed in Quneitra near Achadel. The I.D.F. is claiming, however, that no classified information was compromised from the unmanned aerial vehicle. And while Syrian sources originally said the drone was shot down, the I.D.F. says the incident was caused by a technical failure. Speaking of, this latest incident continues the Skylark's poor operational track record. This week's crash makes it at least the 5th time since January 2017 that the Skylark came down unintentionally. Further, the Skylark, aka the Skyrider, is the I.D.F.'s smallest drone, intended for tactical missions such as patrolling and gathering intelligence. This tactical surveillance drone was created by Israel's Elbit Systems and is operated by the Artillery Corps. It can be launched by 1 or 2 people with a live video feed being provided to soldiers on the ground. Now, while this is not the first drone crash for Israel, it is certainly one that raises eyebrows. The crash comes at a time when Syrian rebels are battling against Bashar al-Assad's regime, and Israel has been pushing for Iranian forces to withdraw from Syria before establishing a permanent foothold along the Israeli border. The new and visually arresting music video for Beyoncé and Jay-Z's Apeshit the Carters has already been viewed over 18 million times since its release on June 16th. And apparently it was produced by Grammy-nominated Jerusalemite Natan Schottenfels. Posting the video to his Facebook page, he wrote, quote, "Produced this iconoclast music video for Beyoncé and Jay-Z directed by Ricky Sayes. Why not?" End quote. Schottenfels was nominated in 2017 along with Vanya Hayman for their work on Coldplay's Up and Up video. And in this latest 6-minute masterpiece, you see Jay-Z and Beyoncé, collectively known as the Carters, dancing and posing at the Louvre, among some of the most famous artworks known to man. The song itself touches upon many different themes, from racism to the gifts Beyoncé has purchased for Jay-Z in the past, and in the end, leaves viewers with their jaws dropped.
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.